Police are calling it one of the most depraved crimes a person could possibly commit against another human being. A woman is dead after being set on fire in the subway, and tonight a person of interest is in custody. Fox 5's Kendall Green is in Lower Manhattan Live now, where police just issued an update on this unbelievable case. Kendall.
Hi, good evening, Arthur. Police just announced an arrest in this torture by murder, and they said that this victim didn't even know the suspect. So let's take a look at the video from the scene earlier today. Now, around 7:30 this morning, the victim and the suspect both rode the F train to the end of the line at the Stillwell Avenue subway station. Now, police say the victim was seated when a 33-year-old man, a migrant from Guatemala, who police haven't identified yet, approached the female victim and set her on fire with his lighter, her clothes fully engulfed. Now, online videos of the incident, which we're choosing not to air, shows the victim standing on the car, taking steps with her entire body in flames.
Let's stop there. We're going to get into the whole thing. I want to make sure that we mine this out because I thought that this was only going to be a quick hit on the Millionaire Morning Show, which you guys should subscribe to, and make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Some of the best information that you can get out there. I thought that this was only going to be something quick. When I seen the headlines, because I didn't think too much about it, but when I start getting into the details, this is one of the most heinous, grisly things that has happened. But more importantly, who should be responsible and who should be held accountable for this? Because this is an illegal migrant from Guatemala that is on the F train, riding it to the end of the line, and then decides to light somebody on fire. Trump warned you guys, and he said it. He said, listen, they're letting over here some of the most crazy people that I've ever seen in my entire life. They're letting the jails out. And the American people are sitting here voting in favor. And then, let's be clear, even though Trump won a popular vote, and he also won all of the battleground states, there was still, according to the polls, over 70-something million people that voted for Kamala Harris. And I'm not really sure if it's because it's not affecting them directly, right? They're not on their doorsteps. They're not in any of these inner cities. But when I think about the fact that New York City is blue as ever, even though there's a lot of people that moved over to the Republican Party, New York City is blue. Chicago is blue. Oakland is blue. California is blue. New Mexico is blue. Colorado is blue. The cities that were affected the most and destroyed the most by the migrant crisis. And then you see something like this, in which there's a ton of stories that don't get covered on a regular basis. I mean, you see illegal migrants. They did some of the heinous things to a 5-year-old girl. I covered that on the Millionaire Morning Show. They did some of the most heinous things to Laken Riley. You know, and it's people whose families suffer every day. But then it comes back to our current administration. And I have to ask the question, well, who's responsible? Is it the taxpayers? Is it the voters? Is it Biden, Kamala Harris that let all of these people over here? Right? Because I'm sure this person had family. I'm sure this person had somebody that loved them. And you're riding the train, and as you're getting off the train, you get set on fire, and that's the way you go out. I live all of my life, and I get set on fire by somebody that's not even supposed to be over here in the first place. And that's how I'm taken out?
With the suspect apparently in that same video sitting on a bench just outside of the subway car before he got away. At least one responding officer appears on scene and captured clear images of the suspect on the body-worn camera video. Now, so far, again, police say the woman and the man didn't know each other, made no contact before the incident, and it remains unclear why he did it now. But police are crediting 3 high schoolers who recognized the suspect at the J in York Street station and called them.
Officers who were on patrol on an upper level of that station smelled and saw smoke and went to investigate. What they saw was a person standing inside the train car, fully engulfed in flames. With the help of an MTA employee and a fire extinguisher, the flames were put out.
And they still passed away.
Unfortunately, it was too late, and the victim was pronounced on the scene.
Once again, the cameras put us there and put us in that direction, and we were able to figure out that he was involved in it later on after we got the camera video footage back.
Now, police say the person of interest had a lighter in his pocket when they apprehended him, and he had a gray hooded sweatshirt, blue jeans, and a dark colored knit hat with a red band and brown boots.
I wonder if he also had a food card. if he had been staying recently inside of any one of the luxury hotels courtesy of New York City. I wonder if we have to wait for all of these people to commit a heinous crime before you decide to deport them. Now is not the time to be, all hunky dory and trying to be politically correct. People are getting burned up, they're losing their lives, and taxpayers are being taken advantage of. Eric Adams is playing both sides of the fence. He don't know whether or not he want to support Tom Homan or if he just want to be middle of the road and have his 1 foot in and 1 foot out. None of these people, none of them, until something crazy happens like this, we can't really grasp the gravity of a lot of these people. And again, I know that we've seen multiple different migrants taking over apartment buildings, and now some of them is getting arrested. They in extortion. Now we got to spend billions upon billions of dollars hunting down people that never should have been in here in the first place, and we could have prevented this. We could have prevented this by just abiding by the laws, by saying that, okay, well, if you're going to come over here, then you got to come over here the right way. But instead, no, we flew them over here. We left open our borders. The Biden administration sued Texas to leave open their borders, which thank God for Greg Abbott because he fought back. And then you still see what's happening over in New York City, right? You still see what's happening over in Chicago, and which Mayor Brandon Johnson, is fighting and saying that he'd rather stand up for migrants than stand up for his own people, for his own constituents, for the residents of Chicago. They destroying that city, and they $942 million budget deficit is projected for 2025, trying to pass on tax hikes to the taxpayers and to the property owners. They running out businesses. Colorado was standing on business and saying that they not going to play ball, and they trying to make it seem like everybody was crazy. New Mexico's governor is out here running around advocating for the Democratic Party. AOC ain't going to be accountable for the fact that she said that we should leave our borders open. California is in shambles, obviously, and Gavin Newsom is outgoing, and they trying to evaluate whether or not they're going to vote in Kamala Harris if she decides to run for governor. And the whole country is asleep at the wheel. Biden ain't even showed up for the spending bill. Kamala Harris is out here begging for money so that they can plug their $20 million deficit. Michelle Obama is selling a new book. And now you see everybody in shambles. But thank God that we only got like 20-something more days before the grown-ups get back in office, and Trump is already operating like he's the president. He's already operating like he's the president. It's unfortunate. Unfortunate. Unprecedented corruption. People busting people down. Stupid. Dumb. And now you got an illegal migrant setting people on fire inside of subways in New York City. And that's the worst part about it. It ain't even an American citizen. We could have literally prevented this from happening by proactively doing the thing that was in the best interest of the American people. And you didn't even have to be on one side or the other. You didn't even have to be on one side or the other. All you had to do was say, uphold the laws that's already on the books. That's an American right. That's what we spend our taxpayer dollars for. But no, we had to make it a bipartisan agreement, and it's something that we got to stand up. Man, this is crazy. It is absolutely insane. And it was a woman too. And it was a woman. Imagine if it could have been anybody. It could have literally been anybody that was on that train. Nobody is safe because nobody wanted to recognize the threat that was at our front door. And then you wanted to start getting some visibility because of the election. It's messed up. Y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off the first order, plus 20% off for life. And then last but not least, make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Y'all let me know what's going on. I'm curious as to what y'all think.